Hello there, we're the Whites, Sonya and Steven, and we're doing the Westy Moments Goal of the Week. So we figured we would give you guys something that we use all the time to create our own special little way of developing movement and connecting. We're titling this Unlocking Your Body.
So the drill we're going to give you is really useful to learn how to isolate all the pieces of your body but still make it work as a whole. You're going to see that it works really well for a slow song, but it's still useful on faster song. It just gives a little bit of a different look.
Yar. So first thing, normally we would do this face to face, we would do this here, but I'm going to do it with her facing the camera so that you guys can get a better view. So first thing we do, we're going to just establish light contact. So I touch, right? That's it. I'm not going to try and grab or force or pressure or anything like that. I touch, and then I'm going to move a piece of her up. She is going to move the closest joint to the part I'm moving and then leave it there like jello. So let's say I take the elbow here, she lets that go up, and see how she's letting all the rest of the stuff hang. Okay? I do this, she lets that go up, all the rest hang, blah, blah, blah. I take the rib cage, she moves just the rib cage. I take the hip, she moves just the hip. You can't see my hand back here, but it's on her back. I push here. She's sending that rib cage out. Tilt the head. You can move the knee, blah, blah, blah. Any of the joints to create any kind of shape that you would like. Make sure you're being nice because both sides of the partnership should end up doing this.
Remember also the person who's being played with has to be really nice posture and balance. If you're in a weird posture, your weight is on your heel and you're not balanced, it's going to be really hard to feel the motion and not really sexy either.
Main idea for this drill is we're freeing up the pieces of the body, right? So you want each piece to be able to move. You do it to me. We want each piece to be able to move independently. And we want to be able to find the limits of how each piece is moving independently.
And this is good for every side of the partnership.
Which is why she gets to do it to me right now.
The second piece of the drill is to actually learn to continue the motion through the joint. So Steven is going to do it to me again. So same thing, just light pressure, it brings the joint up, but I want to continue moving with the same energy until I hit the maximum of this joint, and then I don't want to stop here. I want to keep going through the next joint, and maybe if it makes me go off balance, I'm going to take a step, so I don't want to see you stumble.
This one doesn't really have a right or wrong as far as how you do it. When we do this with other people, with our students, we'll see that they choose to use their joints in different ways. So some people may take this straight shoulder to rib to hip, and they're going to take that step because it's taking them off balance. Others may end up actually just going shoulder, rib, hip, and they'll let that settle and it'll roll underneath. There's no right or wrong way as long as you're hitting the maximum of where each joint is so that it affects the next joint.
Third part of the exercise, you want to do the same thing, light touch, send it through at the person who's doing it never stops moving, and then you want to redirect your partner with pressure.
Yes, so I send this up, she keeps it going, and even though I maintain contact, she's going to keep pushing against it until I give an equal but opposite pressure, and then she sends the next piece. Okay, so with each part of this, I'm just going to put you right here. With each piece of this, if I send the rib, she keeps that rib going, until I send with an equal but opposite pressure. Okay? The other piece of this is if one part of the joint gets blocked, let's say that I send the rib cage and then I stop the rib cage there, she's going to let the next closest joint continue afterwards. So see, she went to the hip there until I redirected, even though we were using the rib cage. So all of her joints are being used to fill in space.
The person who's doing it on the other side, and maybe it's going to be easier when you do it face to face, but let's say I'm doing it to Steven, I want to make sure then I'm not only using my hands and being a little lazy, right? I want to use the pieces of my body too. So if I want to move his shoulder, I'm going to take contact with him, and I'm going to rotate my shoulder too, so we can start creating motion together, and I'm not static or arm leading.
It didn't stop me.
You can just let them keep going, just for your enjoyment.
So we're gonna we'll do this on camera for you guys once or twice so you see kind of the idea of it. I'll do the lead, she'll do the follow, and then we're gonna show you the practical application for your swing. So we would do the drill by lining up like this. We do the first part, I just move stuff, she holds it, blah, 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 huh. Then I move stuff, she continues it. Whoop, doop, doop, doop. And we can do little compound joints. I can redirect one that was already going.
So you see, I never stop moving and I still go through the joint. Make sure for this one, what I see happening when you start doing it too fast is that it starts being a block. So let's say he pushed my rib cage and then you're at the maximum, and then you go like this. So I still want to make it however you want it to move through your body.
And then the last one, I'm really focusing on using the pieces of my body to move her body, and I'm looking for her to have a pressure before we actually redirect. So I send this. And I'm gonna let her keep going. You see, we can even get into a leverage here. Good. I'm gonna let it keep going to leverage. Good. Ah, yeah. See how she took the shoulder there? It's actually kind of fun, but I'm gonna stop now because I think you guys get the idea. And then practical application.
Yeah.
Cool. So the way we like to apply this, we can actually apply this really anywhere in the dance, but we like to apply it in spaces where you can fill more volume. That's what we were talking about with slower songs. Say I do a whip. Normal whip, we do our basic whip, 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, 5 into 6 into 7 and 8. Say I want to take the 4 and we really want to accent something on that piece. I'm going to adjust my grip a little bit so that she can actually use her upper body and her rib cage here, and she can create a really strong volume and lay back over my hand there. Oh yeah, that's a good idea too. So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a
And remember for this, for the ladies, again, there's no one right shape. Maybe I'm going over, maybe I'm going with the hip.
Sure.
So let's just get to this position. I'm here. The idea is I don't want you to stop in a block, right? So I can create the pressure and the motion with my rib cage. I can keep bringing my rib cage and my shoulders over. I can move my hip more back. Maybe I can even bring a foot here. Just make sure you know where to replace it after.
Yeah. And it's good for the lead to be able to do this as well, because I want to be able to attach my body parts to the body parts I'm sending her. I'll give you a rock and go, for example. If I am going to send her for this rock and go, I want to think of taking my rib cage and my rib cage. So I'm really using the pieces of my body to create this action. We give a ton of examples, but hopefully you guys get the idea. Anything else?
And yeah, just remember this is one tool to create motion. This is not the tool. You can totally create it in a different way. This is how we like to move and create the motion.
Absolutely. When you're practicing this, practice big, go crazy, and then actually videotape yourself before you put it on the floor, or ask a friend, because if you're out there and you're doing things too big, not going to look as good. Cool. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you for watching. If you want more information on us, you can check us out at thewhites.dance. And we have a new personal coaching online system also, so you can just message us to have more information. This is Sonya White and Stephen White.
Thank you very much.